Hello, hello, hello. This is Carla Michelle, and I'm so happy to have you here once again. You have push play on the Strong Women's Network, and I am excited to have some great guests with me today. But before we get started with that, I want to let you know that if you're on the Apple podcast, that's where you're listening, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, share for sure, and then make sure that you give us that 5-star rating because that helps where we land in the listening queue. So go ahead, subscribe and share and give us that 5-star rating. I appreciate your time. All right. So, my guests today are the most beautiful women in the world. I tell you, I tell you, they're just amazing. They're beautiful, they're smart, they're intelligent, they're kind, they're sweet, they're wise. I mean, I could just go on. You know why I can go on? Because I have my daughters with me this day. So, I want to go in and we're going to start with, I don't know, who should we start with? The oldest?
I can go first.
Go ahead. Hi, Joelle. How are you? And then I have with me as well, Jordan. Hey, Jordan.
Hello.
Hello. Joelle, do you want to start and you want to tell us a little bit about yourself or?
Sure, I guess I could do that. Um, I would like to start with saying my name is Joelle. I am my mother's oldest. I want to say only, but unfortunately, no, I'm just kidding. No, but I'm her oldest daughter. I'm 25 or 26 actually. Sorry, just turned 26. And yeah, I am currently just living my best life
Yeah.
and
All right.
continuing to be strong through this journey. And yeah, so I guess.
Nice. Thank you. Jordan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. Like my mother said, I'm Jordan. I'm the third child out of four. I run track currently at Washington State University, where my major is biology and my minors are communications and psychology. I also, I don't know if I've just mentioned I'm on the track and field team. I don't know. It's kind of, my shine. But yeah,
Okay.
I enjoy hanging with friends and talking to family constantly. And I'm just very blessed to be here and excited to support my mother along this journey.
Oh my gosh. So Joelle, since your sister like gave her a rundown, did you want to add add any more? I could talk today. Add any more?
um,
How wonderful you are and all your great things you're doing.
sure. Right now I am I am just working. And I'm working on starting my own business. So
Yes.
it's in the process. Still in the in the thought book. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
I like it. Yeah, you shared a little bit about your business, so I'm excited about when that starts taking flight. So kudos to you. All right, ladies. So my question for you, our discussion is around what does it mean to you to be a woman today? And what has been your greatest impact, good or bad, good and bad? I want to hear both that you think has changed your life. And then what has been your influence and what mark do you want to leave on this earth? So that's a big one, huh?
There's a lot of questions.
It was a lot. I don't even remember what the first one was.
The first one is, what do you think it takes to be a woman nowadays?
Would you like to go first, Jordan, or?
You could go ahead, ma'am.
Okay,
You got it.
thank you. I appreciate you giving me permission. What it means to me to be a woman, especially in today's society, I would say would be strong, but not afraid to ask for help when you need it, because you it's okay to need help or want help. Um, as well as just being having let's see. Um, as well as not putting too much pressure on yourself to be perfect, because it's okay not to be. I feel like a lot of us, like, we try and be perfect, or try and be this like textbook, person, and that's not always the case. It's okay to be your own style of perfect, is what I like to call it, because even though, like, nobody's really perfect, but I don't know, I feel like saying your
I like
style
that.
of
That your own
perfect
style of perfect.
is just
Okay.
not living to the society's perfect, but your own style of perfect. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
making that up for yourself, and you just living up to whatever standards you wanna have for yourself. Having whatever goals,
All right.
stuff like that.
So, what is your style of perfect then?
My style of perfect is setting daily goals for myself, doing my best to fulfill those goals, and then if I don't like beat myself up about it. I kind of just like take it day by day, and like, okay, Joelle, like, you know what you need to do, just kind of giving myself that pep talk, and um just taking it to the next day, and then just going from there, and not really trying to like make it a thing where I'm gonna like beat myself up about something that I didn't get to accomplish or didn't get to do, because I'm human, and sometimes you just really don't feel like doing anything, and sometimes it's best for you not to do something sometimes, and just kind of relaxing, or just taking that time for yourself. And so sometimes that's what you need to just restart, and then so kind of just.
I love that. I like that. Your own style of perfect, right? And then just to be kind to yourself
Hmm.
in the midst of
Yeah.
that. So that keeps that harmony.
Yeah, because if you beating yourself up about it, and then other people beating yourself up about it, then it's just stress.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
somebody's got
Okay. I
to.
love it. All right, Jordan. So, what does it mean to be a woman nowadays?
I think nowadays it means to be revolutionary. And I say revolutionary because there has been a huge change between how women were treated back in the day compared to now.
Mm-hmm.
And also just the change in like the pay difference and stuff, how that's kind of decreasing among all women in all races. And also just that I think as women, we're just putting on for our gender or sex a little bit more than how we used to. I think at first it was like just being known as a housewife was enough, but now I think now women are actually tuning into like how Joelle's saying, like starting her own business or just coaching or just making more impacts in people's lives than just being in the shadows of their husband. So
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
women are
love it.
definitely revolutionary.
How are you revolutionary?
Wow. I think I just do a lot. I think I think honestly, I think I'm just inspirational for people. I think that's the best way. I'm revolutionary. I think they see what I do and then that kind of inspires them. So that's my way of being revolutionary at this moment. I
What
feel like it's constantly changing.
but what do you do?
What do you do to inspire them?
Yeah.
Um, I
Just
just
being
be
you and cute and
myself.
walking around?
Yeah,
Oh,
I just
just
be
showing
myself.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't do that. I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are scared to be themselves.
I
And
like it.
I feel like
Okay.
I act as my most authentic self. Like when I make Snapchats and stuff, those crazy Snapchats,
Mm-hmm.
people are like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had the guts to do that." And I'm like, "You can. Literally, you just
Right.
post. Like that's all you have to do. You just press a button." So I think like even with that, that's a way of kind of being like inspirational for
Hmm.
people, even though that could seem so minor, but that might take somebody out of a funk of not having confidence for themselves.
Hmm. And I think a lot in society too, we do try to replicate others. And so that person saying, I wish I could do that, if that's not really them, they're not serving
Yeah.
themselves,
Mm-hmm.
or they're not doing their own style of perfect, as
Mm-hmm.
Joelle tapped into that. And so I think I love it. Revolutionary, finding your own style of perfect. And that's how you would describe a woman today. So that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I'm gonna throw mine in there. And I really did not. I asked the questions, but I really don't have an answer. So let's see what comes out. I don't have a scripted answer. So if I would describe a woman today, I would um I would probably more than likely put your two together when you come to revolutionary and we come in to find your style of perfect, because I believe we're always evolving as women and what we want, as we all are black
Mhm.
females, and black females are the highest educated
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
over white females, over men. You know, we're highly educated. And so I think in that, the finding the your own style of perfect is, how do you really mesh that strength on that hand, or that acceleration on that hand, or how you excel in education or your salary? Because some people, yes, we do not make as much as others, but we're making more than our black
Mhm.
men
Mm-hmm.
have to
Right.
sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes. And then how do you come in and, be yourself? How can you, I think of this, it's like shifting in, the outside world compared to your in your home, and being able to be that strong, focused woman on the outside, and then come home, that
Mm-hmm.
revolutionary, and then come home and be your authentic self,
Mm-hmm.
and to see what's perfect for you and how the roles play. So I would say that is how I see the woman today, is learning to shift back and forth between how they are on the outside world and how they perform inside the home.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that. So if you could think of anybody who has influenced you, and share that, and then how have they influenced you?
Um, I mean, obviously, I don't want to say obviously, but I feel like it's an obvious answer. Would be my mother. You are one of the, I was going to speak in third person, I don't know why.
You can, you can. If you don't, they don't know me.
But you are honestly both of what I feel like me and Jordan have explained as a woman. And you're revolutionary as well as making your own, or you've made your own style of perfect. Like, you don't hold yourself up to any other standard than the one that you set for yourself. If
That's
like, and
true.
that's not like a bad thing. I don't want that to be looked at as a bad thing. Like, I think that that's like a good thing, because I feel like that's how everybody should, excuse me, should be, because not everybody is the same. Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, just seeing how you've grown throughout the years, and how you've lost yourself, but also how you found yourself and
Mm.
became very authentic with yourself, and you're the new person you are today. Or I don't want to say new, but like this
I think it is
evolved.
new.
You
It
could
is
say
I want
new.
to say
you could say
evolved. I don't, even though that's like kind of the same thing, but
It's the same. Yeah.
um and it's just, it's amazing to have experienced that. And,
Mm-hmm.
because it could have been so easy for you to just give up. You know what I mean? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
have four needy kids, which I explain every time we have these podcasts together. You have four needy kids, and, you also have, you are you, and you also have your needs that, like, need to be fulfilled as well. And sometimes things weren't able to be fulfilled because you have four kids. So it's like there's a lot of things that
Mm-hmm.
you really couldn't do, or didn't have the opportunity to do, because you were doing a lot by yourself. Of course, you had help, but you only had so much help, I feel like, and yeah. So I would just say I would just say you would be the person that you know has inspired me throughout
Mm-hmm.
everything, and inspired me to be the woman I am today. You know, yeah, because of,
nice. Thank you. Thank you, Jordan.
I definitely.
If anyone hasn't, oh, okay,
Oh
go
yes,
ahead.
I
You know the
remember it
question.
now. I definitely feel the same way. I always tell people
yeah.
whenever they ask who inspires you, I say my mother, and they say why, and I say because she's been through so much. At 50, I'm not gonna put her age out there. At 28, and it's just
I don't know.
ridiculous how much she has been through and has still showed up for us as a family. And I think, like, with growing up, and even for my own kids, I see myself acting the same way. I feel like even now I'm kind of a mirror reflection of you, just because, like, I saw how hard you worked at your age of trying to like get things right, even though it felt late to you mentally. Like
Mm.
that pushes me at my age to like make sure I don't have to repeat those same patterns that you felt were like a disadvantage for you at that time. So I feel like that's very inspirational. And also now to be a little different, I do have like a new mentor kind of who I'm inspired by, and she like encourages me and makes sure that I'm on my P's and Q's. And I think I need that, especially like outside of you, because I know you always do like check on me and make sure I'm good. But I think to have it in my academic area, I like academic life as well. I think that's very beneficial for me, and it inspires me to even consider like being involved in children's life in the future, like as a teacher or counselor or something, but I don't know for sure. Um, but just because how much of an impact she has on me and my thought process, I would love to like do the same thing for kids and make sure that they know that they're capable of more than they know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And thank you for putting me both of putting me in there. I want to say this. So, is there anyone on YouTube or like a book you've read from a woman that has like stuck with you, or a face or a name of someone that has really impacted you in any kind of way, other than your wonderful mother,
Hmm.
I would
who is not perfect?
I would say this author, her name is Dr. Leaf. She writes a lot of great books
Mm.
and a lot of really inspiring words in those books. And I would say that a lot of there's a lot of things that she said, and there's this book called I always forget it. But anyways, it was a book that I was reading from her, and it was just a lot of inspirational words from her. So I would say Dr. Leaf would be another person that I would say inspired.
Yeah, I like her, Dr.
Her,
Carolyn or
yep.
Caroline Leaf.
Hmm.
Yeah, very, very good stuff
Yeah.
about the brain and how we have the
Hmm.
neurological
Hmm.
Oh.
pathways, and how we can create new ones when we're especially in our thought
Yeah.
process, and the stuff that doesn't serve us, and how it can cause so much problems, which we know in our
Mm-hmm.
lives, and how we
But
have the
not everybody.
power to, not everybody, okay, but and we have the power to change our circumstances with how we think and how what we say and
Mm.
our surroundings.
Is that
So
the
yeah,
book?
she's a very
Is that the book that's like change your
something
life, change your mind, change your life, or something like that?
No, no.
something like, it's not, that's not it. It is something about the brain though.
Okay.
Okay. So, but I know that, yeah, that is a very, very good book to read, because one of the things that we deal with is those negative thoughts that come at us,
Mm-hmm.
and to negate them by putting in with the more of the work to create a different
Yeah.
narrative,
Mm-hmm.
and to rewrite, as in psychotherapy we
Mm.
like to work, well I do, is asking them to rewrite the narrative of the story
Mm-hmm.
of what they would like, that what different outcomes can you get from the same story or the same incident that has happened in your life. Because you could, I think of my story, and you guys mentioned of what I've been through, but I rewrote the story so it works
Hmm.
for me.
Yeah.
And that's the how you can take power over what has happened, over your pain. I heard someone say this and I thought that it was good. They said, because you guys said, the new me, or the I
Ev-
whatever it was,
Evolved.
another word you used, evolved. But if someone said, I never lost myself, it was, I never
Mm.
knew myself.
Mm.
And I think that is, I really can say, probably at your age, you're 26, I was married to your dad at 26. So at Jordan's age at 22, I would have to say I really didn't know what my next steps would be. People would ask me like, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I was like, "I don't know, whatever." I really had no direction. I had, my, and I think from home, my mom she was able to stay at home and be at home. Then she did work after a while, but it wasn't anything like her choice of a career. It was something helping her family member in
Mm.
his business. So I never had that. And then my grandmother is a stay-at-home, or I like to call domestic goddess. And then my dad's mom, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, is also a stay-at-home mom. So they're not saying that there wasn't other people in my life, like aunts and stuff, who did have careers, but I never felt, yes, growing up, I wanted to be a pediatrician. I wanted to, I wanted to be a mail carrier. I mean, I wanted to be everything. So, so it's coming to that point where I think sometimes we feel like we don't know ourselves. And I always say the best thing you can ever know
Mhm.
is yourself. So was I to evolve or find myself was the biggest thing. When I found myself, I think I know that's where my
Yeah.
power came from.
Mm.
So
I love
And
that.
the book was actually
yeah.
called Think, Learn, and Succeed. The
Mm.
book.
I
Mm,
haven't read
that's a
that.
good
That's really
one.
good. But
It's a really good.
what you were saying about the thought process and how you have different, like you can think different ways in a certain situation or any situation really, that was in this book I'm reading also called Quantum Life.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good one.
so I just want
Oh,
to
I have it on my iPad.
Yeah. So what books are you reading? So you're reading Quantum Life, Joelle. Jordyn, what are you
I
reading?
just finished Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay. And
Mm-hmm.
then um I finished a lot of books. I also just finished A Quantum Life again. And then Miguel Ruiz, Mastery of Self.
mm,
And then I have another one that I'm reading on my Kindle. I can't think of the name right now. But I like to read a lot of
Look at you.
like mental health books, especially during season,
mm,
just to keep my mind on like positivity and stuff.
mm,
Um, but I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm also reading like a fantasy book. It's called like When We Were Mermaids, and that book's pretty good when I need like an escape.
Hmm.
But it's not really about mermaids. It's just it's just the title.
It's just a title.
Yeah.
Okay. But so you guys so your tools for helping you with with depression or emotions or whatever happens is reading
reading
books.
books, journaling, and meditating, stretching, yoga, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
I
personally
love it.
don't like if I'm feeling sad, I don't like to read and stuff. I think I'd rather like to
Mm,
just talk to someone than
talk it
read
out.
because I was just talking to Bailey about this yesterday, and I was like, even like you could do all the work.
Bailey
Oh, my best
is
friend.
like a niece.
I could
Okay.
do all the work. Like I could journal, I could meditate, I could read, but if I'm not releasing it, like talking it out, it's still
Mm,
internal, and no one else is able to
Mm,
like really check it on me. Like I'm the only one who could check myself. So I think I had to get comfortable on letting people know what's going on with me so that it's not just me fighting the battle, but I have people who are like my shield and my body armor trying to help me.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Joelle, are you more like the introvert then? You kind
I
of hold
wouldn't
it
say I hold
in?
it in. My way of letting it out is journaling. I feel like that's been my way
Okay.
um how I've found out or figured to kind of deal with my thoughts and kind of get them out of my head and on paper instead of me just juggling them in my head and having to think about it and like stuff like that. At least when I write it on a piece of paper, um I can at least get it out my head and I can just kind of relax. So that's my
I love it. Yeah, I think I'm more like you Joelle in the sense of I may journal. I probably hold too much in that's not healthy. It's a learned behavior that's
mm-hmm.
not good. Um, so you guys can't see this, but I can see them, and Jordyn is pointing her finger at me, and it's not good. I own it. And however, but this is the thing. Um, when I talk about it, then I feel like, dang, that's so
Yeah,
stupid what I'm talking about. But nothing is stupid. It's just that you
yeah,
really need to get it
Yeah.
out, and I have to learn to. But when I have a coach and a therapist and on my team, then it's different. But those times of
Yeah.
gaps in between of
mm,
who I talk to, and there's certain people I talk to about certain things. And then there's people I just say, and then sometimes it can bite me in the butt, of who you talk to. So you have to be mindful of that. But I'm definitely, if you have that, listeners, if you have that person that you, a friend, or even, someone, a professional, it's healthy to get to someone to test that, what you're thinking, and see that that's not valid. Because, Joelle, we had a situation, and we talked about it. So you validated something in that it was like, oh, okay, good. I don't have to jump off the building, not that I would do that, but basically that kind of thought, so it is good to have, I think, the mixture.
Yeah.
There's some things you hold and there's some things you talk about, know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yeah.
So did you have,
Oh, I have one more thing to say. I think,
please,
when I don't feel,
she'll be back. Go ahead. I can't hear you. I think we lost you. Yeah. So Jordyn, maybe Jordyn will call back in, and we'll get her in there. She'll come back. And so it's okay. So, but
I said technical
what?
difficulties.
Technical difficulties, but we are here. She'll be back in a moment. Oh,
sorry,
and there
Dad.
she is.
Dad called me, and he's on my
say?
favorite, so he goes through the do not disturb. But
Oh, yeah. So there's a way to block
time,
everyone,
sorry.
just so you know, for next time.
I was gonna say that I think there's a time where, like, if I myself, I won't talk about it, especially if it's like something that's very temporary. Then I could journal about it. But if it's something big and it's been on my mind constantly, that's when I feel like I need to like vocalize it and see like other people's opinions.
Yeah.
To see if I'm crazy.
That's true. So how important do you feel is to make sure that we are more in a community instead of looking at ourselves as in conflict, or what's the word I'm looking for? When you're not together, you are
at war.
Huh? At war.
Disconjoined.
What is the simple word? Starts with a C. When you're okay. If you're not collaborating, you are in competition.
Wow. Yeah.
So there it is. A little word like that. Competition. Does competition? I feel like we should only be in competition with ourselves. We should definitely not be in competition with each other.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts
I agree.
on that as
I feel like, especially, with I was gonna say especially with family, but just in anyone in general, like there should be no competition at all. Like it's just you against you. Because that's how I look at it. There's like competition where I don't see
it.
I personally feel like
competition,
there is still competition. I think especially in my world with like track, like we're always competing with each other. So I would say like outside of it, and I was just talking about this on another podcast, like I would say like it is hard to balance like becoming friends with someone that you're constantly competing against because you want to win at the end of the day. But I think it is finding that balance between collaboration and competition. But I think in order to do well in like the athletic world or business world, I kind of feel like there is that mentality of being in competition, of having to prove yourself, of trying to prove to people you're not the underdog, and if you are the underdog, that you're going to shine through and get everybody else who's on the list. But also, I do think that you could learn from people who are on that list and even make things better than before. It just depends on what your overall goals are.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a such thing as
most definitely. Yeah. Because I think like too at practice it would be like, okay, like the girls don't do this, but the guys are like, oh, I'm about to get you on this, whatever. But at the end of the day, they're still cool. So I think that is healthy competition.
And I think they were raised that way.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
They were raised that way. Whereas women or girls, I don't believe,
Yeah.
even when it comes to dating and a guy going after a girl, they both will talk and talk about, let's see who gets it,
Yeah,
where a girl will straight get in a fight, if you go after the
that's
man,
true.
she's looking at. So it's totally a
Definitely
different
depends.
concept. And, you know, yeah, it
Mhm.
does depend. I just, gender too takes its toll. So I know that Jordan, who does a lot of things, has a meeting that she has to get to. So I want to close with is, and we'll have to do this again, but I want to close with the question is, what kind of impact do you want to leave?
Mm.
Mm.
The kind of impact I would say I want to leave would be to always, it's okay to be yourself. It's not like, don't stress yourself out trying to be like other people around you, or like somebody you see on social media, because a lot of the stuff you see on social media is not what's really going on in real life. I would
That is true.
say another thing would be to just don't have any limits in life. Like, don't limit yourself. Don't say you can't do something, because you can do whatever you put your mind to. Um, and
Yeah.
anybody who tries to tell you different, they not living your life. So you know what you can do, you know what you can't do,
Amen.
and sometimes you don't even know what you can't do. So because you just never know. So just do whatever you can when you can, because life is so short. You could be here one day and gone the next, or whatever. I don't mean to get too deep, but it's real, I feel like. So
Okay.
yeah.
Very real. Very real. Thank you. What kind of impact do you want to leave,
I am
Jordan?
going to make the impact of, I don't know. I'm just gonna be a lot. I'm gonna be a jack of all trades. I want to be remembered for a lot. I don't know exactly what, but I just want to be like someone that people look up to. I think the way that we're inspired by you, I want like people to be inspired by me, regardless if I'm their mother or not. I think I just want to be as big as an inspiration as like
Mm,
Serena Williams or Allison Felix or like Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris. I want to be one of the greats like that people look up to. So that's the kind of impact I want to have.
You are a great sister.
Oh, thank you.
you are a
Just
You're
girl. And so
no,
when
I
they
just said
look,
just letting you know.
I'm
just
sorry.
let you know.
You're already great. So you say that's what you kind of don't know what in which way, but if you say, if because I think, and Joelle's saying it, you're a great sister, you're a great daughter. You both are amazing, awesome daughters who are able to see things in such a way that it just makes me proud. Like, Joelle and her aspects in finding, like, when she wanted to move out of state and getting her own place and her goals and her focus on that. And then you, Jordan, with what you do at school and all the committees you're on, and all the stuff that you're involved in. But it's the focus in both of you
Mm-hmm.
that is so inspiring. And I know you inspire other people, so you guys are already making an impact, which is great. And then even here doing the podcast, and you've both been on the podcast before, and they're very well received
Mm-hmm.
episodes. And I know this is just another one. So if someone wanted to follow you and see what's going on, what's your social
My
media handles?
Instagram is underscore TCRJ. It's my initials backwards. Um, and that's really it. That's the only thing I really get on in TikTok, but that's not, I don't say anything.
Well, thank you. What about
My
you, Jordan?
Instagram is JAY dot TUCK on Instagram. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can too at JTucky, JAYTUCKY.
Or
And or you can find me on LinkedIn at Jordan Tucker, and I would love to connect.
I love
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You see the age difference in that, right? The 26-year-old's like, I'm really not. I'm working, doing my thing. 22's like, here, 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 and here. So I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this. What impact? It's still Women's
Mm-hmm.
History Month. the last couple of days. And so I wanted to grab you guys and just thank you for taking out the time out of your busy schedules and living your lives. And I thank you
Love
for
you too,
loving me
Mama.
because I love
Love you,
you.
Mama.
Talk to you
All
soon.
right.
Okay.
We'll talk soon. All right, listeners.